This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com. This is another installment of my Kentucky Derby 2020 video reports. We're going to look back at the Bluegrass Stakes from last week, look ahead to the Peter Pan Stakes and the Haskell that'll be run this week, the next Kentucky Derby points races. Last week, my top choice Art Collector looked good winning the Bluegrass Stakes. He tracked the pace, got into a good position. A horse like him could be dangerous in the Kentucky Derby because he has that good early pressing versatility, can work out his own trip. He's on a nice win streak now, and he was able to step up, face better company, and easily win a stakes race. Now, the horse he beat prior to this in his prep race, only against 3 opponents though, but Shared Sense was the one that he beat prior to the Bluegrass, and then Shared Sense came back and flattered him when he won the Indiana Derby. So Art Collector beat a good horse prior to his Bluegrass race. They bet him down. He ran a nice race. He tracked the pace. He pulled away from Swiss Skydiver, the filly who was setting the pace. And she's a quality filly. She's one of your favorites for the Kentucky Oaks this year. And she's probably going to go back and face females again after this, but she was hardly disgraced, clearly second best. Rushie from Southern California, your Santa Anita Derby show finisher, finished third again here. And then Enforceable. He likes to make that late run and hit the board, and he was able to finish fourth. He just missed third. So Art Collector was my top choice, and I've been doing well in these videos lately for the Kentucky Derby points races. Now, the last 6 points races that I covered, 3 wins and 3 seconds for my top choices. I had Art Collector, I had Shared Sense in the Indiana Derby, and I had Santa Anita Derby winner, Honor AP. My 3 second place finishers were 1,000 Words in the Los Al Derby, South Bend, and unlucky second in the Ohio Derby, and Dr. Post in the Belmont Stakes. He wasn't close to Tis the Law, but he ran a good race. So I've been on a roll on these videos, and let's see if we can keep that roll going this week as we jump over, and this one's going to be for Thursday, July 16th. Now, if you watch my videos normally, you know I usually shoot the videos Thursday nights for the Saturday or weekend stakes races. But Saratoga's opening on Thursday, July 16th, and the Peter Pan Stakes is a Kentucky Derby points race, and that's their feature race, and that's the one I'm going to cover here. It's a 1 1/8 for 3-year-olds, a grade 3 race, a $100,000 purse. Mohawk is the one. He's 20-1 morning line, long shot in here, switching surfaces, moving back to the main track. He could impact the pace from the inside post, and he handles dirt, but he's never run this far. He's never faced this kind of competition. The 2 Country Grammar for trainer Chad Brown. Now, he looked good breaking his maiden at this distance last fall at Aqueduct. And then in the Fountain of Youth Stakes, he was no threat, finishing 5th in a 10-horse field. And then last time out in an allowance race at Belmont Park at 1 1/16, he ended up rallying, and he got up to second, but then he ended up weakening a bit. He finished third. Not a terrible effort. I think he's going to like this 1 1/8 distance, and he needs pace help. The 3 Modernist for trainer Bill Mott. He's 7-2 morning line. He was nowhere in the Belmont Stakes. That was his first start since March in the June 20th Belmont, where he was tracking the pace in 7th, and then he finished 7th. He was beaten more than 20 lengths, though. Not a good effort from him. But his races prior to that were pretty good, including 2 wins at this 9 furlong distance, and one of those victories was in the Risen Star Stakes, and then he was third in the Louisiana Derby at 1 3/16. He's got some tactical speed. He's got some class. He fits with these. The 4 Celtic Striker. Now, last time in the Easygoer Stakes, he only faced one rival, and Sonneman was that rival, and Sonneman was a closer, and Celtic Striker was a speed horse. And when you have a match race and you have a speed horse against a closer, you know it's going to be lopsided, and it really was. He won by 19 lengths. All those scratches just made that almost a gimme for Celtic Striker. Now he's going to face much better company in here. He's going to be pressed on the pace most likely, and we'll see what he can do against a much deeper field. The 5 Candy Tycoon for trainer Todd Pletcher probably fits with these. Last time he ran against Rushie, we mentioned him finishing 3rd in the Santa Anita Derby and Bluegrass, and Rushie won an optional claiming race at Oaklawn Park on May 2nd, and Candy Tycoon was 1 1/4 lengths behind him. So I think he fits with this kind of company. In the Florida Derby, he was overmatched, but he did finish 2nd, beaten 6 lengths by Ete Indian in the Fountain of Youth Stakes before that. And his maiden win, he was up on the pace, and then he tracked the pace last time. So I think if he can get at least in the running early, at least in a tracking position, I think he can make some noise in this spot. The 6 Mystic Guide, your 5-2 morning line favorite for trainer Michael Stidham. He's only run 3 times. First career start, 6 furlongs at Fairgrounds. He finished 3rd, and then he came back and stretched out. Second career start, he romped at 1 1/16 at Fairgrounds on March 21st. And then last time out, coming off a little bit of a layoff from March to June, And he finished second to Tap It to Win. And Tap It to Win just got out there that day at Belmont, and he ran fast throughout, and he ran them off their feet. But Mystic Guide wasn't disgraced. He ended up finishing second in that race. So only has 3 lifetime starts. His speed figures are moving forward. Has a lot of upside, and he's bred to handle this distance. Ghost Sapper, the sire. AP Indy, the dam sire. Caracaro is number 7, and he's 6-1. And he's an interesting contender in here. I'm just not sure if he's ready for this distance at this point off of a layoff. But his first 2 races were good at Gulfstream, but they were against Maiden Company. 7 furlongs, battled on the pace, finished second, stretched out to a mile around 1 turn. In his second career start on January 11th, tracked the pace, and he won by more than 6 lengths. Uncle Mo, the sire, Warfront, the dam sire. He's one that should be up on the pace, but his first start since January, I'm not quite sure, but he seems to have a lot of upside and ability. I just don't know if he's ready for this kind of race right now. The 8 Chestertown for trainer Steve Asmussen, 10-1 morning line. He's putting blinkers on. He's a New York bred, exiting a New York bred race in which he finished second as the beaten favorite in the mud. He probably wants fast footing. He's not the worst stab, at least underneath. I think he can sit back, he can make a run. They paid a lot for him, sire Tap It. And I think that bred for the distance, can pass some tired horses. Wouldn't be shocked if he finished 3rd or 4th. And then Katzarelli, number 9. He's 30-1 morning line for trainer Tom Amos. He's won a couple of claiming races, Maiden claiming 30, claiming 50, and now he's going to be facing much better. Against Optional Claiming Company, he was no threat at Oaklawn Park. Against Rushie and Candy Tycoon, finishing 5th by 7. And then Starter Allowance Company, last time he had a troubled trip. He's got some talent. I don't think that he really has stakes talent, and he could be a bit up against it in here. So I think the pace is at least going to be honest. Country Grammar, the 2. I think maybe he's more of a threat underneath. Maybe he'll take some action for trainer Chad Brown. They paid $450,000 for him. Look for him late. Modernist, stalking the pace. I said he fits with these. Candy Tycoon's another one that you can certainly use in here. Caracaro, same thing. I think he can run well, but I think he might need the race. I'm going to go with the favorite in here, the 6 Mystic Guide. Just think he has a lot of upside. He makes a lot of sense in this race. Closed nicely in that debut at 6 furlongs, stretched out and romped, showing good tactical speed second time out. The pace was slow though. And then last time, as I said, Tap It to Win just ran him off his feet, but he ran a good race. He finished second. He beat Country Grammar. I think he can move forward in his second start after a layoff. Nice pedigree. He should be lurking in mid-pack. And I think Mystic Guide is the one to bet and the one to beat in the Peter Pan Stakes at Saratoga on Thursday, July 16th. Now let's jump over to Monmouth Park. And this one is going to be run on Saturday, July 18th. And this Kentucky Derby 2020 points race is the Grade 1 Haskell. And this is going to be run at a mile and an eighth, 3-year-olds. It's a Grade 1. 7-horse field. Dr. Post, I mentioned him earlier as my top choice in the Belmont Stakes, and he ran a good race in the Belmont. He was out in post 9. He was wide throughout. He just kept on charging and kept on coming, and he was able to finish second, but he was no match for Tiz the Law, who got the jump on him and set a perfect trip, and Tiz the Law was just better than him that day. But that was his first start since April, so he was coming off a little bit of a layoff. He's lightly raced. He only has 4 races. He's got some tactical speed and the inside post. The 2, Authentic, 4-5 for trainer Bob Baffert, probably the one to catch in here. He's got 4 starts with 3 wins and a second. He easily won his first 3 starts, and when he stretched out in the Sham and the San Felipe, he was able to control the pace, and that was the key to his success. And he beat Honor AP in the San Felipe Stakes when he controlled that pace. But then the Santa Anita Derby from the outside post, he broke a step slow. He wasn't able to get out there and control the pace. And Honor AP just had more stamina, and he was really ready to run a big race that day, and he ran right past Authentic. Authentic held second. Now the question marks for Authentic, has he improved over the winter, and is he going to be able to go a mile and an eighth against Quality Company or longer and continue to run well? He's going to get hammered in the wagering because Baffert has won this race so many times, and you just know that they're going to bet him down. He's 4-5. He could go lower. Mike Smith is going to be his new rider, and he's up on the pace for sure. The 3, Jesus' Team. This one, 15-1 morning line. He's run 7 times, and he's finished in the top 3 in 5 of those 7, and he's won a couple times. He does like the main track. He's on the main track 6 starts with 5 top 3 finishes. I just don't think that he's this quality. When I'm claiming 25-2 lifetime, he won that one easily. And then against Optional Claiming Company, he was second last time, but this is much better company here. He's probably outclassed. The 4 Ancient Warrior for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. He's 20-1 morning line, and he's stretching out in distance. He's probably going to show some speed. He showed some speed in his first 3 races at 6 furlongs. It's actually his first 4 races, but he caught the mud in his 4th start, and he finished 3rd at Oaklawn. And then at Churchill last time, he actually rallied from 9th to finish 3rd. But now stretching out, he'll probably end up at least forwardly placed. The 5 Fame to Famous, he's 30-1 morning line. This one's the son of Tappet. He's run 9 times with only a win, a 2nd, and a 3rd. He's been mostly running on turf. He's 0 for 1 on the main track. He doesn't have a lot of speed. I don't think his numbers don't match up. I think he's overmatched. The 6 Lebda, he's 20-1 morning line. This one, the Ohio Derby, he was battling on the pace, and he finished 6th. He won the Private Term Stakes at Laurel before that, and then the Miracle Wood at Laurel as well. So he likes Laurel Park, and he's one that can show early pressing speed, but he hasn't been able to make a big dent in the graded stakes ranks. He's faced graded company 3 times, and he hasn't really done well. The 7, New York Traffic, he rounds out the field for Safi Joseph Jr., and he's pretty solid. He's usually right around there, especially when Safi Joseph has been training him. And he took over the training duties this year. He's run 4 times. He's got a win, 2 seconds, and a 3rd. The win was against Optional Claiming Company at Gulfstream Park over the winter. And then he was 3rd in the Risen Star. Modernist won that one. He was 2nd in the Louisiana Derby. Wells Bayou won that one. And then he was 2nd in the Matt Winn Stakes. Maxfield won that one, and Pneumatic was 3rd. So he's faced some decent company. He has good early pressing speed. I think his speed fits this track, and he probably will be competitive in this spot. Now, New York Traffic, as I mentioned, he's a solid contender to at least, I think, finish somewhere in the top 3. Now, certainly, Authentic is the one to beat. There's not a lot of value in this race. If he can get out there and he can control the pace like he did in the Sham in San Felipe, they're probably not going to catch him. But I still have a few questions at 1 mile and an 1/8, and we'll see. His first time shipping, a little bit of a quirky horse. They had to put earplugs in earlier this year for him, and now he's shipping for the first time. We'll see how he reacts. I don't want to play him at such short odds. I'm going to go with Dr. Post again. As the second choice, I think he's a viable alternative. Last time, from an outer post, as I said, he was wide throughout. This time he's got the inside post, and he's really not a speed horse, so I'm not concerned that they're going to have to try to hustle him away from the inside post. Authentic is going, maybe 1 or 2 others are certainly going to be pressing him or really trying to make him work on the lead, and Dr. Post can just save ground behind the speed. I know he can get the distance. He did it last time in the Belmont Stakes. I got a decent late pace rating, so I think that the distance should be fine, and I'm going to pick Dr. Post to upset Authentic in the Haskell Stakes. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, make some comments in the comment section. Who do you like in the Peter Pan and the Haskell Stakes as we continue on the road to the Kentucky Derby? And we're starting to get down to the nitty gritty for these prep races. We have the Shared Belief Stakes on August 1st at Del Mar. And then after that, we have the Travers at Saratoga, and a week later on August 8th. August 9th, the Ellis Park Derby, and then the Pegasus Stakes at Monmouth Park on August 15th. And that wraps up the Kentucky Derby points race schedule. And then the first Saturday in September will be the Kentucky Derby. So we're getting down to the end now on all these prep races. We've seen a lot of these horses run, and if you're interested in looking at my Kentucky Derby 2020 page at therunawayhorse.com, blogs, videos, I cover Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby, my top contenders in those races, my exceptional 11 Derby, and then my fabulous 5 for the fillies. So you can read those blogs and see my other videos at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Derby 2020 page. And then one other thing, if you're interested in for the Peter Pan Stakes, I'm going to have written analysis at therunawayhorse.com, and I'm going to include that link in the description in this video, along with my Kentucky Derby 2020 page link. So the links will be there. My Peter Pan wagering strategies and written analysis will be there. And if after you watch this video, I'm going to put the link right there if you're interested in looking at that or looking at my Kentucky Derby 2020 reports. Until next time, good luck at the races.